before Christmas, when all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
Ruby and Mike, how are you doing? Nice to see you guys.
Hi,
Yeah,
Howard.
how you been?
I'm very good. Thanks for speaking to me again, and congratulations on the movie. It's so good. I just watched it again this morning, and I loved
Oh,
it. Loved it to bits, man.
I
Ah,
It's
love
thank you.
this.
I mean, I love. Do you know how much I love the previous film that you did, the take on Wrong Turn, which was kind of
Yes.
a
Yeah.
remake. It was a kind of a reimagining, and this is kind of the same thing, even though it's kind of being pitched and commercialized as a remake. It very much
Yep.
isn't a remake, which
Yep.
is something that you kind of you keep as far away from making a remake as possible. You've
Yes.
always said that. So I'm quite curious. I think was it Brad Miska that came to you with this idea? So I'm quite.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
then
got it.
what was it?
Yep.
I know that since you were a 5 year old, I think you saw the poster the first time. I was reading in
Yes.
the press release, and it's kind of that's been in your head ever since you were five. I know you didn't watch it when you were five, but you kind of had that imagine that kind of image in your brain. So I'm quite curious when Brad came to you with this idea, what kind of light bulb moment did you have that you realized, right, I can get my foot into this story, but give it this kind of not a remake touch.
Yeah, when he called me, it was like, "Yeah, we have the property, here at Cineverse. Do you have a take for this?" And I was like, "Oh my God, like, well, I have to figure something out. Like I have to at least go
Because
for
there's
it."
like I think there's six versions of this film already. No,
Yeah.
six sequels now. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Um yeah, I mean, I had to go for it. And yeah, I think it was just a couple weeks to kind of figure out like an angle, and gave a light pitch to the guys, and they went for it. Like it was kind of one of those ideas that, like, as soon as I came up, I was like, well, this could really work for this, or it could also just be its own thing if for some reason they were like, it's not really Silent Night, Deadly Night or whatever. Um, so yeah, and that's like you said, it's always been sort of my goal, my focus to, if I'm going to take on something like this, like it has to, it can have DNA, but it also has to feel like an original film. Like I'm not here to just rehash something. To me, that's
Yeah.
just, it's very uninteresting.
Uh-huh. I mean, the best comparison, more so than the original film, it felt like almost like a Christmas special of Dexter Morgan, almost that kind of thing, almost in a way, in the best possible meaning. I mean, I loved it to bits. So, I mean, obviously, he's got his code, and he's got his special advent calendar that he needs to kind of
Yep.
open those boxes. So he's got his own things going on. So, what, Ruby, the next question is for you. Obviously, Billy's got
Okay.
his things going on, but Pam's also quite a hothead herself, and she
Yes.
kind of loses her shit quite a few times. And the person who's kind of her anchor and kind of steers her is actually Billy. So I'm quite curious how you kind of approached that dynamic to make it credible, because he's going through these things and he's got these voices in his head, to make him not suddenly think, oh, all of a sudden he's kind of the only sane person in the room, when he has to kind of help you through your
hmm
rockier moments. No, how did you kind of work on that dynamic together?
Well, when Rowan and I weren't on set, I'm so appreciative of him because we worked relentlessly. We were always together running lines, creating little secrets about our characters, talking about, oh, what do you think the backstory was there? Lots of laughter. Like this is true story. I was on the floor of the hotel room once and I was sobbing. I was laughing so hard. But yes, yeah, I love the fact that they anchor one another. And to answer your question, every person that's ever wronged me, I thought of them on this film.
Right.
It was really quite simple. Anything that's ever enraged me, I was like, thank you, Mike, for finally giving me a platform to scream my heart out.
But I'm quite curious, what was the conversation, just to make sure that Billy, because he is going through all this stuff, when he does kind of calm everything down when it needs to be calmed down for you, how did you
Mhm.
make that not come across like almost slapstick, if you know, because it's like he's going through these crazy things and then all of a sudden he's this calmest guy in the room. That
I
wouldn't
think
work.
it's
So how
just
did you kind of balance that?
Sorry about that. I think it really just comes down to the fact that we all have baggage. Every human being on planet Earth has baggage. And it's about interacting and connecting with somebody and realizing you have I'm sorry if like you have
No,
stuff,
no, it's
I
okay.
have
Yeah,
stuff.
I beat you to it already. Yeah.
Okay. You have stuff, I have stuff. Can we calm each other's waters? You know what I mean? Can we make it through, and being patient with one another? So I think that that's what the two of them see in each other. You have shit, I have shit, but we're going to get through it together.
Mhm.
And at the end of it, find some sort of peace. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a weird way to say it, but we'll be each other's peace, which everybody on planet Earth, I personally feel like you're in a relationship, be my peace, I'll be your peace.
Uh-huh.
Peace.
Uh-huh. Also, a huge kudos. I mean, I'm not usually a big fan of when we get kind of another character that we can't see or that is a ghost or that kind of thing. But this works really, really well. The voice in Billy's head. Obviously, I don't want to give too much away, but I'm very curious how you approach that. Did you give this voice a kind of code because it veers between kind of a conscience and the chaos at first,
Mhm.
and we don't really know what to believe, what not to believe. I'm quite curious what kind of code you came up with there, and also was the voice actor Mark on set kind of with the actors, or did they just kind of have to imagine speaking into the void and that came in post?
Yeah, so that was that was an interesting thing. A lot of that was so Mark wasn't there on most of the days. We just couldn't. But knowing how I wanted Mark to sort of be, I was able to deliver a lot of those lines off camera. So there was a
Okay.
lot of Rowan and I acting together, which was a lot of fun. Because we found things that like both kind of helped each other, you know what I mean? And like that helped define like, where Charlie's coming from, and also like, Rowan would talk about kind of like, well, where am I supposed to be coming from here? And how is Charlie saying this? And I would try to again deliver those lines to him and to get him into that vibe. And then of course, Mark came later and we went through, and once we had that edit together, we found a lot of great performances, and how we were then able to interweave, like Mark could watch the movie and kind of understand like, oh, okay, he's going through this. Let me try it like this. You know what I mean? And so then he'd go through, and then we were able to kind of slightly reverse engineer and like take on the day what was really working. And then Mark brought, again, this sort of menace to start,
Right.
and then this gradual softening to realize that there's something more to him than just um, what's at face value. Like you said,
Yeah.
like what is he? Is he this demon? Is he, is he like what is he? Is he a psychosis? Like what is that?
Yeah.
And it was really fun to see that kind of explored and come to life.
Uh-huh. Talking of exploring that, I mean, it explores very moral, very kind of moral gray areas. I mean, there's a line in the film where Billy says doing a bad thing isn't the same as being a bad person. So I'm quite curious if that was kind of very tongue in cheek, or because it's such a slippery distinction. Was that very tongue in cheek, or were you kind of deliberately trying to ask the audience to kind of sit in that moral gray zone between intention, trauma, accountability, those things that don't neatly align? And where did you kind of decide to land on that kind of spectrum?
Look, I think the reality is like we're all human beings, and so I think at some point in time we all do or make really big mistakes. We do bad things, we say bad things. That's human nature. That's going to happen. I don't care how squeaky clean you are. And so I think that was to me that was an important aspect, an important theme of the movie. Is just there are going to be people that completely go all in and say, I am this way, as there are very clearly characters in the movie that are all about what they are and
Yeah.
they get what they deserve. Um, and I think then there are people like, again, like Pam, who I think she's kind of teetering on this whole like, gosh, am I a bad person? Like, because I feel like I do a lot of bad things. And Billy, who has a very interesting gift, is can very clearly tell her that she's not, and that good people can do bad things sometimes, and I think that's the reality.
Brilliant. Well, sadly, they're giving me the wrap. So listen, guys, thank you so much for speaking to me. Huge congratulations on the film. I had a lot of fun with it. It was so good. And
Oh,
I hope
I'm
to
so
speak to you
glad.
again sometime soon, guys. And have happy holidays.
Happy
Yes,
holidays.
yes. Happy holidays,
All
Merry
right.
Christmas.
Take care.
You've made it through Thanksgiving. Now try and survive Christmas. Silent Night. Deadly Night. Starts Friday, December 12th at a theater near you. Check newspapers for showtimes.